The 2010s killed something in football, and you didn't even notice. The pure number 9, the penalty box assassin, gone. Today's forwards press, drop deep, play wide. But the 2010s, that was the last decade where one man could stand in the box and terrorize defenses for 90 minutes straight. 10 strikers, impossible goal tallies. The final generation of predators before football evolved past them. This decade gave us the last generation of strikers who lived in the penalty box like apex predators. 10 men who scored goals that seem impossible now. Numbers that make modern stats look cute. Let's go. Number 10, El Matador, Edinson Cavani. Here's what you need to understand about Cavani. He scored 304 goals across all competitions in the 2010s. When Cavani joined PSG in 2013, they moved him out wide to accommodate Ibrahimovic at striker, and he'd spend the rest of the decade there. Then Neymar arrived, and they did it again. But Cavani? He adapted and thrived anyway. Uruguay's all-time top scorer, a serial winner. But here's the thing, Cavani represents something crucial about this era: work rate. Modern strikers pride themselves on pressing and tracking back, but Cavani was doing that while averaging 30 goals a season. He was ahead of the curve. He tore through defenses like a hurricane, but finished like an assassin. But he's only number 10. Number 9, the Fortnite dancer, Antoine Griezmann. Wait, Griezmann? A striker? Hear me out. From 2014 to 2019 at Atletico, Griezmann was the striker. Europa League final, 2 goals. Champions League final, starting striker. 133 goals for Atletico in the decade, leading the line. Then 2018 happened. World Cup winner, 4 goals, best player in the final. At his peak, Griezmann was unplayable. But here's why he's on this list. Griezmann represented the transition. He was the bridge between classic number 9s and modern forwards. Could play wide, could play central, could drop deep, could finish. 188 goals across all competitions in this decade. And he did it while being one of the most complete attackers in football. Was he a pure striker? No, but in this decade, he defined what strikers were becoming. And that evolution matters. Number 8, Diego Costa. And I can hear you already. Diego Costa, this high? Peak Costa was a problem. 2013 to 2014 at Atletico, Liga champion, Champions League finalist, 36 goals, an absolute menace. Then he goes to Chelsea, immediate Premier League champion, 20 goals. The man turned the Premier League into his personal torture chamber. But here's why he's on this list. Diego Costa changed how we thought about strikers. He wasn't the fastest, he wasn't the most technical, but he was the most uncomfortable to play against. He scored 139 goals in this decade, but his real impact, he made defending miserable. He was a psychological weapon wrapped in a footballer, and every single modern physical striker, Haaland included, owes Diego Costa royalties. Number 7, Romelu Lukaku, the most disrespected elite striker of this generation. I know what you're thinking. Lukaku? Come on. But hear me out. In this decade, Romelu Lukaku scored 234 goals. He won the Europa League Player of the Season in 2019. He won Serie A as the main man at Inter, ending Juventus's dominance. At 26 years old, he was already in the Premier League's top 20 all-time scorers. Everton, Manchester United, Inter Milan, Belgium. Didn't matter where you put him, he just scored. But here's the tragedy of Lukaku. He played in an era where strikers had to be everything. Fast like Mbappe, strong like Costa, technical like Benzema. And because he wasn't perfect at everything, people focused on his flaws instead of his insane consistency. 237 goals in a decade where he was constantly doubted. Number 6, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And now we enter rarefied air. 5 league titles, played for Barcelona, AC Milan, PSG, Manchester United, LA Galaxy, all in one decade. The 40-yard bicycle kick against England, the karate kick against Italy, the casual backheel nutmegs. Zlatan didn't just score goals, he scored moments. Over 300 goals in the 2010s. At age 38, he was still scoring 20-plus goals a season in Serie A. Let that sink in. But here's what separates Zlatan from myths. He actually delivered. This isn't just ego and Instagram posts. This is a man who was world-class at 38 in 2019 when he started the decade at 28. He played for the biggest clubs on earth and scored everywhere. His audacity was backed up by numbers. But somehow, he's not even in the top 5. Number 5, Karim Benzema, the most underrated striker until he suddenly wasn't. Here's the problem with ranking Benzema for the 2010s. For most of it, he was living in Cristiano Ronaldo's shadow, the assist merchant, the link-up man, the luxury player. But then, Ronaldo left in 2018, and we realized he is that guy. Benzema redefined what a modern striker could be. The hold-up play, the vision, the selflessness. He was doing false 9 things before it was cool, except he could also score 30 goals a season. And in this decade, he proved something crucial. You can be unselfish and elite. You can create for others and be the killer. The 2020s would belong to Benzema, but the 2010s, he was building toward inevitability. Number 4, Harry Kane. The striker who made everyone forget England strikers were cursed. 3 Premier League Golden Boots. World Cup Golden Boot, 2018. England's all-time top scorer by the end of the decade. 157 goals from 2014 to 2019. Let me say that differently. Harry Kane averaged 31 goals per year for 5 straight years in the Premier League. But here's what made Kane special. He was the complete package. Weak foot, identical to his strong foot. Penalties, automatic. Free kicks, elite. Passing, world class. Kane proved that the traditional number 9 could evolve, drop deep, spray passes, then get in the box and finish like a killer. The only thing missing? Trophies. The cruelest irony of his career. But individually, peak Harry Kane was unstoppable. Number 3, Sergio Aguero. And if you're English, you might want to skip ahead. 93-20, you know it. You remember where you were. But Aguero wasn't just a moment. He was a decade. 239 goals in the 2000s, 5 Premier League titles, Manchester City's all-time top scorer, 20-plus goals in 7 consecutive seasons, left foot, right foot, headers, tap-ins, 30-yard screamers, didn't matter. Aguero scored them all with the same cold efficiency. Here's what people forget about Aguero. He was consistent in an era where City rotated everyone. Pep's system, different formations, didn't matter. Aguero delivered, the greatest South American striker in Premier League history. And he did it while being 5 feet 8 inches in a league that ate small strikers alive. Number 2, Luis Suarez. The most complete, most insane, most controversial striker of the decade. 2013 to 14. Suarez almost single-handedly dragged Liverpool to the Premier League title. 59 goals in 53 games. And he missed the first 5 games through suspension and still won the Golden Boot. That season was supernatural. Then he went to Barcelona and formed MSN, the greatest attacking trio ever. Treble in his first season, 40 goals in his second, won everything at the club level. Yes, there were controversies, the bites, the antics, but on the pitch, Suarez was relentless. The pressing, the movement, the finishing, the assists. He was the first truly modern striker, pressing from the front, creating for others, scoring every type of goal imaginable. Strikers today study Suarez, the runs, the intensity, the killer instinct. Top 2 of the decade. But one man was even better. Number 1, Robert Lewandowski. If we're talking pure numbers in the 2010s decade specifically, the answer is Robert Lewandowski. The complete package. We're talking impact, moments, legacy. 444 goals in this decade, 8 Bundesliga titles, Champions League, Club World Cup, every major trophy, 5 goals in 9 minutes as a substitute. That's not human, that's a cheat code. But this is what gets me. The entire decade, people dismissed him with the laziest take in football. It's just the Bundesliga. Just the Bundesliga? He scored in every Champions League game in 2019-20. He demolished Real Madrid, Barcelona, everyone. The disrespect was insane. The consistency was robotic. 40-plus goals a season became normal for him. Lewandowski was the most complete striker of the 2010s. Left foot, right foot, headers, positioning, link-up play, everything. He deserved a Ballon d'Or. Everyone knows it. Here's the truth. Lewandowski has the numbers. Suarez has the peak. Aguero has the moment. Kane has completeness. But here's what we can all agree on. This decade? This was the last golden age of pure strikers. The last time football worshipped the number 9. Today's strikers are different. More complete, more tactical. But are they better? Look at these goals, these moments, these legends. This was when strikers were the kings of football, and we'll never see it again. That's the list. Argue with me in the comments. Subscribe for the 2000 strikers video. That list is even more controversial. This is Pitch Archives, and football was better when strikers hunted for goals.